How's the Scotland Wednesday night?
Good. Only omission will probably be Johnny Hayes. He's still feeling discomfort and pain in the shoulder. The injury's been sort of having to manipulate over the last few weeks. So he may be a doubt for tomorrow, but the rest are fine.
Ball and goalie back in?
He's back in contention, yeah.
Yeah. There's obviously quite a heavy pitch Wednesday night.
Well, speaking of the players,
so would you mix it up a bit, maybe?
Speaking of the players this morning, they've recovered fine. They looked quite sprightly today, as you would imagine, with the form that they're in. So I wouldn't envisage too many changes.
One of the more interesting lines to come out, which popped up in the paper this morning, Loic Damour's description of Scott Brown as the king of Scotland and the referee in every game. What do you make of?
I have no idea what that means. The king of Scotland. Well, maybe in footballing terms he has been for quite a while, but I don't know what he means by refereeing. We were quite exasperated ourselves by some of the refereeing decisions the other night, and certainly nothing to do with Brownie.
Do you, when you look at this stretch of 5 games, and you've got this little gap which may get narrowed tonight or may not, if you win all 5, you could be 8 points clear going into the break. You talked about the psychological boost to have a gap. Do you feel that does put pressure on the opponents? If
you win your games, yeah, but I mean, it's, we don't want to be presumptuous. We've won 2 from 2 so far. It's been a heavy week again, 3 games in 6 days, but they're playing well and they look fit, and we know the dangers and how difficult an opposition Derek's team can be. But we're looking forward to it, and we're not taking anything for granted. So if you can win tomorrow, it'll set us up very nicely. We get 3 or 4 days in between the St Mirren game, and that'll give us a good chance to recover for the 2 games that will finish off this sort of block.
There's been a few games recently where you've said you've been happy with the performance post-match, but quite often you've also said that you feel you could have scored more in each of those games. Yeah. What can you do as a manager to try and sort that?
Nothing. I don't want to sort it. They're creating... somebody asked me after the game, you frustrated we're not taking the chances? I said no. I said we're creating good chances, and the quality of chances we're creating is high, and it's a high volume of chances as well. So yeah, like I said, I'm really happy with the way they're playing. And yeah, maybe one day they will take all the chances and somebody will be on the end of a severe beating. But at the minute, you're just looking game to game. Can we get the 3 points? Can we get the performance? If we can't get the performance, get the 3 points. I think that's the important thing in the here and now.
What are you expecting from Aberdeen?
I don't know. I mean, since we played them last time, they've been pretty consistent. I think the Hibs game in isolation was a shock result considering the form they've been shown. So they've been pretty consistent, and Derek's quite shrewd manager. Don't hide my admiration for him, and I think they'll make it really difficult. He may change the way they play. He's had a week to work on it, obviously. And in Cosgrove, they've got one of the best goal scorers in the country, who's having a stellar season. So I don't know. They could come out and have a go, or they could come out and be rigid and difficult to beat, and they're very good at that sometimes.
You must feel confident that no matter how opposition teams set up at Celtic Park or the amount of chances you are creating, that the goals are going to come.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, again, you can't be presumptuous, so it's important that we keep trying to be penetrative and keep trying to create the openings and keep trying to work the goalkeeper, and we've been consistent with that so far.
Neil, just on Johnny Hayes, he's been an important player for you this season. In terms of his contract, has there been discussions about extending his deal?
Just tentative ones at the minute, so we'll see how that goes.
Is he a player that you obviously want to keep though? I mean,
I like him, and I think he's done very well for me, and I think he can play a number of positions. Very fit, very quick, and good squad player. So he's, put it this way, since I've come in, he's not let me down.
Has it been tough to decide between him and Greg Taylor at times? Obviously, there was, when the call was made on Wednesday, there was a few Celtic players, fans, wondering.
I know. Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to pick the team. Look, Greg's he's on a long-term contract, and he will be here long-term, so he's in a squad that's very high calibre, and he's working away. He's had a few opportunities. He's done absolutely fine, and we want more from him as he goes along, to the point where hopefully he'll be a first team regular, going forward.
So on a separate issue today, Ian Maxwell is talking about the introduction of VAR to Scottish football. He'll approach clubs next year. Your thoughts on that in terms of the financial implications and whether it's a good thing for Aberdeen?
Well, if he's the chief executive, he's running the game, so if he says they want to bring it in, then that's fine by me.
I think what his quotes, I guess more specifically, were he would urge the clubs to vote for it before the end of this season. I remember we talked a few weeks ago about the way it's been implemented and interpreted in England. If it was going to be brought in, you would like to see it interpreted differently.
I think, most countries have their own way of doing it. I think ideally we'll not have big screens around the stadiums for sure to, keep the supporters up to date with things. Maybe if there's a monitor at the side of the pitch, I think when we had the meeting maybe this time last year, the majority of the managers and, 3 heads of the refereeing fraternity were all in favour of it. So if they bring it in, then great. It would please me, because we would be further clear in the league by now, with some of the decisions that we haven't had. So, yeah.
Is it worth the cost?
I don't know, Joe. I don't know how much it costs. That'll be down to the clubs and the association to decide, and whether they think it's working. It's not perfect, but in the main, they get 80%, 90% of the decisions right.
There has been some sort of feedback, though. A lot of fans aren't happy if it's been implemented in England. Do you have any concerns about that?
Of course, yeah. Like I said, it's not perfect, and I think there's a constant source of frustration sometimes with decisions. I think the offside decisions at times are ludicrous. We're talking millimetres, and I think that's something that needs to be definitely analysed more. But in terms of, clear-cut decisions, I think it would help, and benefit the game going forward.
Do you think it puts more scrutiny on the officials or less, I suppose? These kind of...
I think it would help. It'd be an aid to the officials. There's no question of that.
Neil, can I ask you very quickly, Slovan Bratislava general manager said that Celtic had made an offer for Andras Sport. Could you shine some light on that at all?
Yeah, we haven't made a bid, and we're looking at options, going forward, but there's been no bid from us.
Is he a player that you are to monitor?
Yes.
Yeah. He's the kind of player you'd like to bring to the club in January?
Well, depends if we make a bid for him. If we make a bid for him, then yeah. So, again, he's an option and one of a number that we're looking at. With
your winter training camp, are you looking to get players in early to join in that camp? Would that be the ideal?
Yes, but you can't guarantee that in January, so ideally that would be great, but I can't say yes or no on that.
Neil, I just wanted to ask you about Ryan Christie. I think I asked you 6-7 weeks ago if you preferred him inside or out wide, and you said you preferred him in the middle. But he's played out wide very often recently, but it doesn't seem to be a problem for him. He's excelling out there.
He's doing brilliantly, and I suppose it sort of, sums the player up really, with his goal return and his performances. It's because really, Moy and Mackey, have been out of the picture for a while, and we've had Jamesy on the left, which again isn't ideal for him, but he's brilliant at that as well. And Ryan there, and then we're bringing the likes of Ncham to play alongside McGregor, Brown, or Rogic. And so, while it's not perfect, it's functioned very, very well. And Ryan, is quite happy to play out there.
Has it changed your opinion at all? Would you be more happy to play him out wide now than?
Yeah. I mean, look, I would ideally see him as a number 10. And I've always thought that, but. He's played in midfield for us at times, and he's played on the right. I'd prefer him. My own preference would be 10, but he just gets on with it. Does a brilliant job for us. He's in great form at the minute. And ideally I'd want Jamesy on the right and another winger on the left and Ryan in centrally. That's the way we see things going forward. But for now we're making the most of what we have, and they're playing brilliantly in positions that maybe wouldn't be seen as their first choice positions.
Yeah. Were you happy with the 3-5-2 formation that you used recently? Or we like to see that?
I like it. Yeah, I like the 3-5-2, and I think it suits us at times as well with the personnel that we have. And sometimes you use it to accommodate the opposition, whatever formation they try and play as well.
You played that formation a lot when Martin was manager.
Yeah.
And it was hugely successful, but as you say, I guess it's all about the personnel who are available.
It's funny, it sort of went out of vogue for a while, and then I felt, Conte at Juventus brought it back in and, made it sort of spectacularly good again. I played under Martin for 10 years, and then 4-3-3 really sort of, became the sort of preferred choice for most teams and managers. But, a lot of teams are using the 3 again, and I quite like it at times, and some, it gets me too strict. I did it at Hibs a lot, in my second season. And, again, you have to look at what suits your players and what suits their strengths. And, the 3-5-2 then, for us, was good. At the weekend, it suited us, with the personnel that we had available. And obviously against Lazio, the way they played, it was good to use it against those sort of teams as well.
Yeah, we just mentioned about getting a left winger in. Is LEC going to be back?
Did it?
No, not getting him back, getting him fit.
All right,
Is he
okay.
going to be back for the end of the year?
Not sure. Mikey is fit though. He's in the squad for tomorrow.
Neil, Celtic have played 17 games this season. You're 10 points better off than Celtic were last season. What do you think have been the key changes and approach that have led to that improvement?
I don't know. We're winning more games probably, and I think we're creating more goal scoring opportunities to give us a chance to win those games. I think we're playing with good intensity, and they've got the bit between the teeth, and we are getting pushed. And I think that sometimes brings the best out in certain players. And thankfully, we're in a good place at the minute. We know it can flip very quickly, but we're not looking back or making comparisons. We're trying to finish. Our goal is to finish top of the league going into the break. By as much as we possibly can. And I'm delighted with what I'm getting back from the players. They're giving me everything at the minute.